Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the things that I like and the things that I don't like about the new 2021 BMW 430i convertible after driving this for roughly a week. Obviously I've found the things, again, that I like and that I don't like, and so yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I like about the 430i convertible has to do with the exterior lighting. So first off, from an aesthetic perspective, I've always liked BMW's headlights. I just think they always look really cool, especially with the accent lights that they add around them, and this is no different. On top of that, BMW's LED lights are extremely bright. Like, visibility with these is absolutely amazing, and so from a headlight perspective, I just loved how good the visibility is, and then also the aesthetics. And then coming to the taillights here in the back, I just love how these things look. Like, they just have such a cool design with how they kind of swoop back there. And so yeah, definitely think that the lighting on this car is a high point. Now, the number two thing has to do with the accenting on this particular car. So first off, obviously you guys can see this is finished in the most beautiful blue that I've ever seen, pretty much. I mean, it's just perfect, and the flake that you get in the sunlight looks amazing. But I love all of the little accents on the car. So notice that we've got the blue brake calipers that match the exterior, and yes, they do have the M colors on them. And then on top of that, if we pop here to the interior, you guys can see throughout the seats, you've got all the blue stitching that goes all throughout. Have another M logo right there, and then you guys can probably barely see, but we've got the interior lighting as well. It's kind of hard to see here in the daytime, but you can see that. But yeah, I just love all of those little blue accent pieces. Matches the exterior and just pulls everything in together just very, very nicely. Definitely think that's another cool thing about the car. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So the accenting. Now, the number three thing that I love is the technology. So I've actually been keeping the key fob on the roof of the car while I've been filming, because when you walk away it locks the car, and then when you walk up it unlocks it automatically. So that's, I guess, the first piece of cool technology. But if we pop into the car here, push the stop start. First off, we've got this really cool digital gauge cluster. I love the look of it, and wait for it, it has, well, it'll take a second. It's got a cool little map view as well, just looks really nice. And then aside from that, if we come over here to the infotainment system itself, I just love the overall look of this infotainment system. It's really easy to use, and it does come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it's wireless with the Apple CarPlay, which again is just awesome. And another piece of cool technology is the camera system here with the 430i. So you've got like the 360 view. Notice that that is grayed out because I have the door open with the car. So yeah, overall really good from a camera perspective. But yeah, it's another cool piece of technology. And then it's got the automatic climate zones. I know that that is pretty basic. A lot of cars have that. I don't know, still think it's pretty cool. And then something else that's cool is actually with the drive mode technology wise, the adaptive actually completely adapts to the driving that you're doing, which is actually pretty cool. I definitely use that mode more than any of the other modes, but it changes with the suspension and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I just think that's another thing. And then obviously, I love the wind scarf. I know that not technically like techie like the infotainment system and the gauge cluster, but I guess it's still a cool addition, and so I'll put it in this video. Now, we have the fourth and fifth point that kind of go hand in hand, because we are going to take it out and drive it to go over these points. And the fourth one has to do with the comfort of the car, and then the fifth point has to do with the fact that it doesn't really feel like a convertible when you're driving it. Now, briefly, before we take this out and drive this, I just want to mention these seats really comfortable in terms of the support. Like, it's the right amount of softness and firmness where you can sit in these seats for a very long period of time. I did for the review of this car, and yeah, these seats are super comfortable. So that is a huge thing on the comfort side. But now let's take it out and drive it so we can talk about the rest of the stuff with the comfort. We've got an extremely loud Mustang in front of us, but aside from that, let's talk about the comfort of this car and the fact that it really doesn't feel like a convertible when you have the top up. And even when you have the top down, right, you get all of the benefits of a convertible without any of the downsides. So first off, this car is extremely comfortable. This is a really, really good luxury car. And I picked this higher speed road so you guys can really see. At high speeds, it's very quiet in the interior. It's very smooth with the suspension, and BMW does have the adaptive suspension on this particular car, which I definitely would recommend after experiencing this 4 Series with that system. It's fantastic. Again, it rides smooth, it's quiet, you don't get a whole lot of road noise, you don't get a whole lot of tire noise, you don't get really any wind noise either. Like, Again, this is such a nice luxury car. I have absolutely loved driving this car to all of the places that I review. I actually purposefully, after getting this car, went to a couple of places that I don't normally go to very often that are farther away distance-wise, because I knew that I'd be in so much comfort driving this car. So yeah, BMW has just absolutely nailed it in terms of the comfort with this car, and then just really making it feel like it is a regular car, even though it does have a soft top. If you guys want to see me drive this with the top down, I have some top down driving in my review on this car. But even when you have the top down, right, you get all the benefits of a convertible, right? You get the extra light into it from the sun. Obviously, since you have the top down, maybe you have it at nighttime, so I guess that wouldn't apply. But you get the wind in your hair and you get all those good feelings. But again, it's still just, it's super quiet even with the top down. It doesn't get crazy obnoxious with the wind noise or anything. Like, I don't know how BMW did it, but they just did a really good job with this car from an insulation perspective. And so coming from someone like me that just hates convertibles, I really like this. And so if you want a luxurious convertible experience, then I would recommend going for this new 4 Series convertible. You could daily drive this, no problem. You'd be in tons of comfort, and then you could, you know, take it out on the weekends down your favorite canyon road or whatever you prefer, and you can have quite a bit of fun with it with the open top experience. And yeah, just overall, I don't know how BMW did it, but they just nailed it. Now that we've gone over the things that I love about the 430i, let's get into the things that I don't exactly like about the car. So the first thing is all of the M badges. So first off, you guys can see here on the brake calipers, we've got the M logo. Then you guys already saw the M logo there on the door sill, and then out back there is no M logos or anything like that. And then I believe on the key fob it also has the M colors. And don't get me wrong, I love the M colors. The thing that I don't love is the fact that this is a 430i and not an M4, and yet it has a bunch of M badges and M logos and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, I don't know. I think that BMW needs to just clean it up a little bit and not put M badges on cars that aren't M cars, because even in the steering wheel, it says M on it. Like when I posted the steering wheel on Instagram and asked people to guess the car, everyone guessed M3, M4, M5 because they thought it was an M car because of the steering wheel. Like, I don't know, I just don't think that's fair to people that buy M cars, so I think they need to just get rid of the M badges unless it's an actual M car. Now, the number 2 thing is, of course, the grille. Well, now this grille has obviously been extremely controversial because of how massive it is. And I mean, the license plate kind of slightly breaks it up, but it is a massive grille. It doesn't look as good as the previous generation, and so yeah, it definitely has that going against it. Now I will say, in person, this definitely looks better, and on the M cars, it actually doesn't look too bad because you've got like the super muscular hood. But yeah, definitely kind of crazy. And I mean, the car gets a ton of looks, and some of the looks that people give this car is kind of hilarious because they see the grille and they're like, wait, what? And I've kind of gotten that reaction from a bunch of people. So yeah, I got to put that in here. Again, it's not horrible, but it just doesn't look as good as the last generation. Now, the number 3 thing has to do with the leather in the interior. I guess we got to open this up, and well, the seatbelt that pops up just popped back in. But anyways, so with the leather in the interior, like I said, the seats are very comfortable to sit in, very supportive. They're easy to clean as well. But I mean, you guys can see the type of leather they're using here in the seats, and this is a $60,000 car, and they're using this type of leather. You guys can see the leather on the steering wheel, very soft to the touch, very smooth. I think that is the leather that should be in the entire car, not just on the steering wheel. And so yeah, I thought I'd put that as a point because I feel like they should just kind of bring it up interior wise in terms of what they use with the leather. Now, the 4th thing is the fact that this lacks certain features. Now, like I said, this is pretty nitpicky, but first off, doesn't have remote start. I mean, again, it's over $60,000, does not have remote start. And then if we pop here into the interior, we have a heated steering wheel, we have heated seats, no air-conditioned seats. Again, over $60,000 doesn't have air-conditioned seats, so I don't know, I think it's a little bit disappointing. Obviously, they'd have to change the seats themselves because these seats have no perforations in them. So again, if they just added, like I said, the nicer leather they have on the steering wheel onto the seats and then made it perforated, added cooled seats, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, again, pretty nitpicky, but I thought I'd mention it. Like, it just lacks certain features that I would kind of expect at this price point. Now the fifth and final thing will require us to take it out and drive it, and that is the fact that I think that this car needs more power. Oh, on one of the negative points, we have to obviously talk about the fact that I feel like this car just needs more power. I mentioned this in my review where I feel like this platform is just very underwhelmed, and yeah, I just feel like it needs more power. Like foot down, it's pretty good. The transmission is definitely amazing with the 4 Series. It's got the ZF 8-speed automatic, super smooth, super quick with the transitions. It just does a really good job from a transmission perspective. But this little 4-cylinder, I don't know, it just leaves some on the table in terms of desirability. Like, it's not all that responsive until you're at higher RPMs, and especially if you're at a dead stop, like there is so much turbo lag, it is just crazy. So here we are pretty much at a dead stop, nothing. Like there is so much turbo lag, it is just horrible. Like you put your foot down and you have to wait for several seconds for not only the boost to build, but for the car to be like, okay, he wants to accelerate fast. It's not that responsive. Again, the transmission kind of clears up some things because it's so quick to shift and it's so smooth. But when you're not moving, like, you have to understand this car does definitely take a second. Like, we'll take another turn here so you guys can kind of see exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I'll purposefully make a full stop here, okay? And just nothing. And then finally, it takes so long for it to hit. It's just frustrating. And it's like, I don't know, I just don't expect that from BMW, but I guess that like most of the BMWs I've driven have had their inline 6s, which just are so powerful off the line that I'm just not used to a BMW having this type of acceleration, I guess, or lack of. And so yeah, I think it needs more power for the platform. This platform can definitely handle way more power, and obviously that's why they offer the M variant. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is, if you're gonna get one of these, get the more powerful version with the inline 6. And yeah, that's what I have to say there. Now that's gonna sum things up for our video on the things that I love and the things that I don't exactly like about the new 2021 BMW 430i convertible. And yeah, as always, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe. I'll see all of you in that next video.